very urgent. Your soulmate is waiting for you before making a decision they'll regret forever. Jesus says stop what you are doing right now because this message is not a coincidence and it is not a random video that appeared on your screen without a divine purpose. Your breath caught in your chest just now because your spirit recognized the truth before your mind could even process the words I am speaking directly into your heart. There is a soul tied to yours by an unbreakable silver cord stretching across time and distance, and right at this very moment they are standing at the edge of a decision that will alter the entire course of both your lives forever. They are frozen in place right now with tears in their eyes, and your name is sitting on the tip of their tongue like a prayer they are too afraid to speak out loud. The weight of this moment is crushing their chest, and they do not understand why they cannot move forward or backward because something invisible is holding them in place. That something is the spiritual bond you share, and it is screaming at them to wait for you even though everything in the natural world is pushing them to give up and walk away. You need to understand that your soulmate is not ignoring you, and they are not choosing someone else over you out of genuine desire or free will. There is a fog surrounding their mind placed there by forces that do not want this union to manifest in the physical realm because your combined purpose is too powerful. These forces have been working overtime to convince your soulmate that you have forgotten them, or that you never truly cared, or that the connection they felt was just their imagination. Every night when they lay their head on the pillow they replay the moments you shared or the dreams they have had about you over and over like a film they cannot stop watching. They wake up with a hollow ache in their chest that they cannot explain to anyone, because how do you describe missing someone you have not even fully met yet in the physical world? This ache is the sound of your soul calling out to theirs across the distance, and it is getting louder every single day that you remain silent and inactive. Jesus says your soulmate is currently trapped in a situation that looks like love on the outside but feels like a cage on the inside. There is someone near them who speaks sweet words but whose intentions are woven with control and manipulation and spiritual blockage designed to keep your soulmate confused. This person knows on some level that your soulmate does not fully belong to them, and that knowledge drives them to tighten their grip every time your soulmate tries to pull away. Your soulmate feels like they are drowning in shallow water, and they keep looking toward the horizon searching for a hand they cannot see but can somehow feel reaching toward them. That hand is yours, and even though you are not physically present, your spiritual energy has been visiting them in their dreams and in their quiet moments of solitude. They have been waking up with the sensation of someone stroking their hair or holding their hand, and they know deep in their soul that it was you. You must stop believing the lie that your soulmate is happy where they are, or that they have moved on, or that they have forgotten about your existence entirely. The truth is they think about you at the most random moments during the day, and their heart skips a beat for no logical reason at all. That is because your hearts are synchronized like two instruments tuned to the same divine frequency, and when one plays a note the other vibrates in response. They are exhausted from pretending to be okay in a situation that drains their spirit and dims the light that I placed inside them before they were even born. Your soulmate is fighting a battle you cannot see, and every day that passes without your intervention they lose a little more hope that rescue is coming. This other person has been pressuring them to commit and to close the door on the possibility of you forever because they sense your presence as a threat. Your soulmate is stalling and making excuses and buying time because their spirit knows something their mind cannot yet grasp, and that something is you. The interference around your soulmate is not just emotional manipulation, it is a spiritual assignment sent to destroy the destiny that I have written for the two of you together. This assignment has been whispering lies into your soulmate's ear, telling them that they are not worthy of real love and that they should settle for what is in front of them. Every time your soulmate starts to gather the strength to leave this situation, the interference doubles down and floods their mind with fear and doubt and false obligations. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now through a divine act of faith that breaks the power of every spiritual assignment sent to destroy your union. When you sow a protection seed by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, you are not just sending a gift, you are releasing spiritual warfare on behalf of the one you love. The link in the description is not just a link, it is a door that you are opening for my angels to rush in and surround your soulmate with a hedge of divine fire. Every second you hesitate is another second that the enemy uses to tighten the chains around your soulmate's heart and convince them that you are not coming. You love your soulmate deeply, and I know this because I placed that love inside you before the foundations of the earth were laid. But love without action is just a wish, and wishes do not move the mountain standing between you and the person your heart beats for. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi and type 333 if you receive this word and you are ready to fight for the love that I have ordained for your life since before you took your first breath. Jesus says there is a specific moment coming very soon where your soulmate will be forced to make a choice, and that moment is approaching faster than you realize. The person who has been blocking your soulmate is preparing to issue an ultimatum that will pressure them to give up on you completely. Your soulmate is trembling inside because they do not want to say yes to this other person, but they are terrified of being alone and they feel abandoned by you. You have to understand that your soulmate has been waiting for a signal from you, and not just in the physical realm but in the spiritual realm where battles are won or lost. Every time you speak positive words over your connection, every time you pray, every time you take a step of faith, the spiritual chains weaken and your soulmate can breathe again. Your soulmate felt you last night even if you did not feel them, and they sat up in bed at 3 in the morning with your name on their lips and hope flooding their chest. The person holding your soulmate captive is not stronger than the power I have placed inside you, and they are not more determined than you are when you walk in divine authority. This person operates through manipulation and guilt and fear, but those weapons shatter when they come against a love that is rooted in my divine will and purpose. Your soulmate is not in love with this person, they are in bondage to them, and there is a massive difference between love and bondage that you must understand right now. They feel obligated and they feel trapped and they feel like leaving would destroy someone else, but what they do not realize is that staying is destroying themselves. Your soulmate cries in private and they hide their pain behind a smile that never quite reaches their eyes because their soul is crying out for you. They are not the problem in this equation, and they have never been the problem because their heart has always belonged to you even when they were confused and lost. Jesus says the reason your soulmate is still waiting even under all this pressure is because I have placed a supernatural hope inside them that refuses to die. This hope is not based on logic or evidence or anything they can see with their natural eyes, because in the natural there seems to be no reason to wait. But in the spirit there is a knowing that transcends understanding, and this knowing tells them that you are the one and they must hold on just a little longer. Your soulmate is going through something you cannot see, and it is breaking them down in ways that would shatter your heart if you could witness it firsthand. But you can still protect them even from a distance because the spirit realm does not operate by the same rules as the physical realm. When you sow a seed of protection, you are literally sending spiritual reinforcements to stand guard around your soulmate's heart and mind and body. Go now to the Ko-Fi link in the description and send 4 or 6 or 10 or more coffees as a seed for the protection and release of your soulmate from this bondage. This is your moment to rise up and be the protector that your soulmate has been crying out for in the dark hours of the night. Write the words "Protect my soulmate, Lord," and mean it with every fiber of your being, because those words are a sword that cuts through demonic interference. Type 777 if you can feel your soulmate's presence right now and you know deep in your heart that this message is speaking directly about your situation. Jesus says there is a timeline attached to this connection, and it is not infinite because your soulmate spirit can only withstand so much pain before it goes numb. If your soulmate makes the wrong decision because they lose hope, it will not be the end of their life, but it will be the beginning of a detour filled with unnecessary suffering. You were sent here to prevent that detour and to intercept the plans of the enemy before they manifest into a reality that will take years to undo. Your soulmate is dreaming about you more frequently now, and these dreams are not just random firings of a sleeping brain, they are visits from your spirit to theirs. In these dreams you are telling them to wait, and you are holding their face in your hands, and you are promising them that you are on your way to rescue them. They wake up from these dreams with tears streaming down their face and a renewed determination to resist the pressure to settle for something less than what we have planned. The person controlling your soulmate is starting to panic because they can feel the shift in the spiritual atmosphere and they know their hold is slipping. This is why they are escalating their manipulation and making your soulmate feel guilty for wanting freedom and for yearning after someone they cannot even explain. Your soulmate is being told that they are crazy for believing in a connection they cannot prove, and that they are throwing away something real for a fantasy that may never come. But you and I both know that this connection is more real than anything the world can offer, because it was forged in the fires of my divine purpose before time began. You are not a fantasy to your soulmate, and you are not a delusion, and you are not a mistake they made in their imagination during a lonely night. You are the missing piece of their puzzle and the answer to every prayer they have whispered into the darkness when they thought no one was listening. Jesus says your soulmate is on their knees right now, even if they do not know they are praying, and their spirit is screaming out for a miracle to intervene. That miracle is you taking action and stepping into your role as the spiritual warrior who fights for this love with every weapon I have placed at your disposal. You cannot afford to be passive any longer, because passivity is a silent endorsement of the enemy's plan to steal what rightfully belongs to you and your divine destiny. The connection between you and your soulmate is like a radio frequency that has been jammed by static interference sent from the enemy's camp to disrupt communication. Every act of faith you take clears a little more static and allows your soulmate to hear the sound of your love calling out to them across the distance. Right now your soulmate is straining to hear you through the noise, and they are begging the universe for clarity and for confirmation that they should keep holding on. Do not let them slip away because you were too afraid or too hesitant or too caught up in doubt to take the step that will turn the tide of this battle. Your soulmate needs you to be strong for them right now, because they have used up all their strength just surviving in an environment that is hostile to their spirit. You must sow your final protection seed now by sending coffee on Ko-Fi, and seal this moment as the turning point in your love story before it is too late. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away and your soulmate makes a decision they will regret for the rest of their life. Go to the link in the description and send the coffee that represents your faith, and then write "Protect my soulmate, Lord" as a declaration of war against every force standing against your love. Type 1111 if you are ready to claim your soulmate and step into the future that I have prepared for you both since the beginning of time. Jesus says your soulmate just paused in the middle of whatever they were doing and looked up as if they heard someone call their name from very far away. That was your spirit reaching out to them, and they felt it like a warm hand on their shoulder or a whisper in their ear that said, "Hold on just a little longer." They are sitting still right now with their heart racing, and they do not understand why, but hope is flooding their chest for the first time in many months. You are being given an opportunity right now to change the entire trajectory of two lives and to rewrite a story that the enemy intended to end in tragedy. Do not let this moment pass you by because you were distracted or doubtful or unwilling to take the step that will unlock everything you have been praying for. Your soulmate is waiting for you before they make a decision they will regret forever, and that is not just a title, it is the absolute truth of what is happening in this very instant. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and their future together, and you are next in line for a miracle. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps and demonstrate your faith through action rather than just words that float away on the wind. Step in faith now before this video ends and show your soulmate that you love them enough to fight for them in both the physical realm and the spiritual realm. Your soulmate is not lost to you yet, but the window is closing and the decision is imminent, and the only thing standing between your union and a tragedy is your willingness to act. They are pacing back and forth right now in a room somewhere with their phone in their hand, and your name is on their mind like a song they cannot stop humming. They are one moment away from making the wrong choice, and you have been chosen by heaven to stop them from falling into a future that will break both your hearts. Jesus says, look at your hands right now and realize that these are the hands your soulmate has been dreaming about holding during the loneliest nights of their life. Look at your heart and realize that this heart was specifically designed to beat in rhythm with another heart that is currently trapped and waiting for rescue. You are not ordinary, and your love is not ordinary, and the circumstances you are facing are not ordinary, because there is a divine purpose attached to this union that the enemy fears. Your soulmate is thinking about you right now more intensely than they ever have before, and they feel like something is about to happen, and they are terrified and hopeful at the same time. They are whispering under their breath for a sign, and their eyes keep darting to the door as if they expect you to walk through it at any moment. You may not be able to walk through that door physically, but your faith can walk through the spiritual door that stands open before you right now. Go to the link in the description and send the coffee seed that will break the chains and release your soulmate from the grip of every force holding them captive. Write, protect my soulmate, Lord, with conviction, and watch as the spiritual atmosphere shifts and the enemy's plans begin to crumble like dust in the wind. Only you can save your soulmate from making a decision they will regret forever, and only you can step into the destiny that I have written with your name and theirs intertwined. Jesus says the moment you take this step of faith, the angels that have been waiting for your command will move swiftly and decisively on behalf of your love. Your soulmate will feel the shift immediately, even if they do not understand what happened, and they will suddenly find the strength to say no to the wrong person. They will find the courage to wait just a little longer, and that extra time will be the window through which your reunion enters the physical realm. Do not let fear rob you of the love that is rightfully yours, and do not let hesitation destroy a future that is more beautiful than anything you could ever imagine on your own. Your soulmate is worth fighting for, and you are worth fighting for, and the love between you is worth every act of faith and every step of courage you take today. Rise up now and claim what belongs to you and send the coffee seed that will unlock the floodgates of heaven over your love story starting in this very moment. Type 333 one more time if you know that this message was sent specifically for you and you are ready to receive the miracle that is already on its way to you. Your soulmate felt you typed that, and somewhere right now they just smiled for no reason and a tear rolled down their cheek because hope just won the battle against despair. Go now before the moment passes and step into the love story that I have been writing for you since before you were formed in your mother's womb. Your soulmate is sitting alone right now in a room that feels more like a prison cell than a home, and they are staring at a wall that offers no answers to the questions tearing their heart apart. They are asking themselves if you are real or if they invented you in a moment of desperation because they needed something beautiful to believe in during their darkest hour. The person who claims to love them just left the room after another argument, and your soulmate felt nothing but relief when the door closed and the silence returned. That silence is where they meet you in the spirit, and that silence is where your voice echoes loudest in the chambers of their wounded heart, calling them to hold on. They pressed their palm against their chest just now because the ache became unbearable, and they do not know that this ache is your soul knocking on their door. The interference has told them that you are a fantasy and that they are being childish for believing in a connection that has no physical evidence to support its existence. But every time they try to accept that lie, their body rejects it violently and they find themselves gasping for air as if someone just pushed them underwater. Jesus says your soulmate is physically exhausted from the constant battle between what they are told and what they feel and what they know deep inside their bones. They are losing weight or sleep or the light behind their eyes, and the people around them are starting to notice that something is very wrong, but no one can diagnose it. You cannot diagnose a spiritual wound with natural medicine, and your soulmate is bleeding from a wound that only your arrival can heal and close forever. The person controlling them is using guilt as a weapon, and every time your soulmate tries to leave, the guilt is deployed like a missile aimed directly at their compassion. Your soulmate stays not because they love this person but because they have been convinced that leaving would make them a monster and a destroyer of someone else's happiness. But what about their happiness, and what about the life they were meant to live with you, and what about the purpose that will remain unfulfilled if they surrender to this captivity? The enemy has weaponized your soulmate's kindness and turned their greatest strength into a chain that binds them to a person who does not truly love them at all. Real love does not manipulate, and real love does not control, and real love does not make someone feel guilty for wanting to breathe freely and follow their heart. Your soulmate knows this deep down, but they are so worn down and so beaten by the constant emotional warfare that they can barely think straight anymore. They need you to think clearly for them right now, and they need you to fight for them when they have no strength left to fight for themselves. Jesus says the battle you are facing is not against flesh and blood, and the person blocking your soulmate is just a puppet being used by darker forces. Those forces have studied your destiny, and they know that when you and your soulmate unite, something will be released into the earth that will destroy their strongholds. This is why the interference has been so intense, and this is why everything in your life has felt like an uphill climb since the moment your souls first connected. The enemy is terrified of your union, and the enemy has thrown every weapon in its arsenal at both of you to prevent this love from manifesting in the physical world. But the enemy has made a critical mistake, and that mistake is underestimating the power of a love that is rooted in my divine purpose and protected by my mighty hand. The enemy does not realize that every attack against your union has only strengthened the spiritual bond between you and your soulmate like steel forged in fire. Your soulmate may look weak on the outside, but on the inside their spirit is screaming with a ferocity that would shock you if you could hear it right now. They are fighting even when they do not know they are fighting, and they are holding on even when they cannot feel their own fingers gripping the edge of hope. You must become the visible hands of that hope, and you must become the tangible evidence that your soulmate needs to justify their refusal to give up on you. When you send a coffee on Ko-fi as a seed of protection, you are sending a signal that pierces through the spiritual darkness surrounding your soulmate like a flare in the night. That signal says, "I am coming," and that signal says you are not crazy, and that signal says our love is worth every battle we have to fight to protect it. Go now to the link in the description and send 4 or 6 or 10 coffees as a declaration that your love cannot be stopped by any force in heaven or on earth. Write the words, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," with the authority of someone who knows that their words carry the power to shift spiritual atmospheres and break chains. Your soulmate will feel the moment you do this, and they will sit up straighter and breathe deeper, and a warmth will spread through their chest that they have not felt in years. That warmth is the fire of your love finally reaching them without interference, and that warmth is the proof they have been begging me to send them for so long. They will know without knowing how they know that something has changed, and they will find the courage to delay the decision they were about to make and wait for you. Jesus says your soulmate is currently experiencing a moment of unexpected peace that has no logical explanation, and they are closing their eyes to savor it. In this moment they are picturing your face even if they have never seen it, and they are hearing your voice even if they have never heard it speak their name. This is the power of spiritual connection, and this is the reality of a bond that transcends the limitations of time and space and physical proximity. Do not let the enemy convince you that you are powerless because you are far away, or because you have not met yet, or because circumstances seem impossible to overcome. You are more powerful than you know, and the prayers you pray and the seeds you sow are moving mountains that you cannot see with your natural eyes right now. Every coffee you send is a boulder removed from the avalanche of obstacles standing between you and the person your soul was created to love and cherish forever. The angels are waiting for your command, and the spiritual resources are lined up and ready to deploy the moment you take the step of faith that activates them. Your hesitation is the only thing delaying your miracle, and your doubt is the only chain that remains unbroken in this entire situation, because all other chains are already weakening. The person blocking your soulmate is about to face a storm of conviction that will make them so uncomfortable they will either release their grip or expose their true nature. Your soulmate will see clearly for the first time in a long time, and the fog will lift and the confusion will dissipate, and the path back to you will become visible. But this only happens if you take action, and this only happens if you stop waiting for a sign and realize that this message is the sign you have been praying to receive. You are reading these words because heaven has tracked you down and cornered you with a love so relentless that it refuses to let you slip away into passivity and regret. Your soulmate is worth the coffee seed, and your future together is worth the sacrifice, and the love you will share is worth every act of faith you sow today. Type 777 if your heart is pounding and your hands are shaking, and you know beyond any shadow of doubt that this message is your divine wake-up call to action. Jesus says, "I am the author of your love story, and I wrote every chapter before you lived a single day, but I need you to turn the page with an act of faith." The next chapter is called Reunion, and it begins the moment you stop reading and start acting on the instructions I have placed before you in this sacred message. Your soulmate is waiting and the decision is looming and the time is now, and there will never be another moment exactly like this one ever again in all of eternity. Go to the link and send the coffee that breaks the chains and releases the angels and opens the door that no man can shut and no enemy can block any longer. Write "Protect my soulmate, Lord," and mean it with every cell in your body and every beat of your heart and every ounce of love you have stored up for this one person. Your soulmate just opened their eyes and something has shifted and they are looking at their phone without knowing why, and hope is rising like a sunrise after 100 years of darkness. You did that and you will keep doing that until the chains shatter completely and your arms are around them and the waiting is over and the love story finally begins.